do tell young actors, turn up on time, be early, and know the lines. When I arrive on the set, I've done my homework and I'm ready to work. And I've noticed occasionally there are people that think they're a little lazy and that they can wing it. You've got to be incredibly talented to be able to wing it, you know. But that would be my advice to people. Just be early and ready to work.
The myth of if you don't have a full grasp of your lines, you will be therefore better placed to deliver them with spontaneity. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Whoever snuck that into the language is just another rationalization for not doing any work.
Yeah.
And if you don't do your lines, then when does the work, like if an actor comes on and says, can I get some sides, please? You know you're in trouble, because sides meaning little bits of the script that they get for that day's scenes. And you think, well, when did the work take place? When is it going to happen now?
When I read the first 2 scripts, I hadn't read the book in a while. So I read the first 2 scripts in this vacuum, and I was able to connect to it as a story on its own. Mm-hmm. Then the book completely became my Bible. I mean, that thing is a dog-eared copy. It is like stained. It's been in the bathtub. It's gone everywhere with me.
Like being back in college. Just
exactly,
like,
totally just nerding out. Like I've, memorized passages from it. It was the greatest resource. Such a gift as an actor, as you can imagine. You would be doing a scene that's in the book. And the book is all very first-person narrative. It's all voiceover. It's all in her head. So I was able to go to the scene and look at exactly what she was thinking and exactly what she was feeling, and described also in sort of this beautiful poetic way. It does have a lot of negative space. It can be very vague at times. It's beautifully written. It's not all spelled out for you. So I didn't feel like it was confining, because it doesn't give you enough. She describes how the character feels like in one line that's a little bit vague and poetic. I do the chart thing too, and I find it very, very helpful. I find that what I learned to do was exactly that. To make the chart, and you map it all out, and you have your scenes and however your specific way of doing it. This is the arc of your character in general. And then I look at it maybe the first couple of weeks, month of filming, and then I lose it. I literally don't know where it is. Like I'd stop looking at it. So I find the same thing. Like it's somewhere in there. You kind of follow it, but I find the same thing, that you can't follow it too closely.
A woman came up to me in the street a while back and said, I saw you in a play and I really liked it. And I said, thanks very much. She said, I'm trying to be an actress. I said, how's that going? She said, well, my drama teacher's a little angry with me currently. And I was like, really? And I said, why? She said, well, because of the feelings. I said, the feelings? She said, yeah, the feelings. I was like, what feelings would they be? She said, well, he thinks that I'm not feeling stuff. I said, well, you saw me in a play. She said, yeah. I said, you enjoyed it? She said, I thought it was great. I said, well, I can sort of almost guarantee, I don't know when you saw it, but I can guarantee I'm not feeling anything. I'm at work. You know what I mean? I've got quite a lot on my plate. I've got 2 and a bit hours. I've got to, make love to a woman, eat chili con carne, smoke cigarettes, hit the doorknob when that lighting change, otherwise we're buggered, do all these things. I mean, it might be occasionally, I might get, something might be triggered, but I'm busy. You know what I mean?
You also said that thing, I remember saying less is more, and you went, no.
More is more.
More is more. And I remember that, because I remember you, and another one is get your hands over your head as quickly as possible when you walk on set. Get them up. Get them up.
Well, I used to be I only did anything, because I spent years standing on stage, having conversations with myself, saying, move your hand, put it in your pocket. I can't move my hand. Move over there. I can't go over there. Just walk there. I can't walk. I'd be like that. I was completely paralyzed. And then I worked out, and I worked out in a rehearsal thing. If you did something, anything, if you did that or that, quick, just something, anything that was better than standing there like that. Then you would feel you'd feel terrible for less time.
I think I just get kind of over tense and nervous.
You get nervous?
Oh, yeah.
About what?
I can't even begin to answer that question, because the whole thing is nerve-wracking. It's terrifying. there's so many different areas that are waiting for it all to be perfect, you know, the sound, the light. So it's a huge responsibility. And of course you get terrified.
You're very hard on yourself.
No, I don't think I am. I'm not harder on myself than any other actor is hard on themselves. I think it goes with the territory. You can always, always, always be better or want to be better. How can you just sit back and say, oh, I thought that was absolutely wonderful. Why would you want to do it again? I thought it was perfect. Never.
So I sort of came along and came of age in this time when television was sort of taking over and all the writers were going there and the directors were going there and then the actors started going there. And I find that I really love the longer format. I love and the same reason I love theater, you know, just the chance to do it over and over and over again and try to get it right is great. I love television or a miniseries in that sense because I love that you have 6 hours, you know, or 8 hours. I love that you have 10 hours to figure it out. You know, you get a little bit at a time and you just sort of try to put the puzzle together. And sometimes you have 7 years to create a character and your life informs the character and you change and the character changes. And that whole process I find actually really fun. So, I mean, I love doing films too, but for me it's almost odd sometimes because I go and I do a movie and it's like over in 2 months and I'm like, is that it? We're not going back? I don't get to play this character again?
So it's kind of your kind of tendency towards perfectionism.
Yeah, exactly. Like I like the idea of continuing to like chip away at something. Have another crack at it. You know, I really enjoy that. And I really I think that directors as well and writers, and I find that they sort of blossom in television because they have 6 hours to tell a story.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in general, I'm always attracted to, like, if because there are so many, you read so many scripts and you can feel that there's a manipulation in the writing when everyone's looking for the audience's empathy and in the character, and like, I just find it so boring. And so it's kind of when you find a bit of writing where it's like, oh, the writer has not even vaguely attempted to get the audience's empathy. I think it's all on the actor and the performance to somehow make an unlikable person someone you can follow and someone you can sort of root for in one way or another. I think it's kind of a challenge, and I think it's one of the reasons I'm attracted to it.
I like hard things. I like difficult things. I don't know. I feel like I would be a good soldier. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a positive thing because I think it's probably better
because you think beyond the boundaries is what it says to me.
Yeah, well, Sarah Bernhardt did it, right?
Indeed.
You know, I started when I was 11. I did my first film when I was 11, and it's 18 years now. I think it's hard to say what you expected and wanted when choosing a career when you're 11. I was like, I want to be famous. Yeah. You know, I wasn't like thinking.
But then you also decided you want to go to school.
Yes, which definitely, I think, added to my ability to take the most out of.
How did you do that?
It gave me I think the ability to follow up on my curiosity, to really go after as deeply as I could anything that I was interested in. It gave me the courage to voice my opinion even to people I was intimidated by and really respected. It gives you a different way of being able to think and talk. And most importantly, it gave me friends that are completely interesting, completely inspiring, and there for me whether I fail or not, which I think is a great security to have.
Everybody was so professional and so on it and so considerate and really wanted everybody to feel comfortable. It was very safe. I did not feel threatened or, you know, I felt comfortable in the environment. I was not worried about going to work because I trusted them so much because they were so on it. So yeah, it was really, but it was tough. I mean, it's an amazing experience because everybody sort of rose to the occasion. I sort of developed this new thing where I would just obsess over it, you know, and I'd always kind of done that, but I thought, you know what, I'm pulling out all the stops and I'm just going to I'm going to wake up every morning. I'm going to write, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to keep researching. I'm going to keep working at it. And, you know, Kate, I saw Kate doing that. And I think maybe I got a little of that from her, where I just saw her on set, you know, with her script, like all the time, just trying to connect the dots, looking at the scene, you know, changing a little bit of dialogue here and there, making it all work as a big picture. And I really was like, she just doesn't stop. And I think that's the trick. And so I really decided that I was just going to keep researching, keep getting into it. And I decided, you know, I'm going to try that on this one. I'm going to really go for it and really write every morning and get into it and stay in it and not get out of it. And yeah, it was exhausting. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life, and I've never worked harder.
I think we have not yet learned to nurture the genuine artists and given them enough respect to make in just terms of recognition, so that they know that their battle is not for nothing. I think when you speak of poems, there's a poem which the playwright found in a biography of Delmore Schwartz. And it's one of the, I can't say it on stage any night without crying. I'm not sure I can here, but I'll try. Schwartz, who died destitute, and in his hotel room, they found on the back of an envelope that poem, which I say, time, the years pass and the years pass, and still I see only as in a glass, darkly and vaguely, waiting, I can't do it, in grinding misery, for the fountain of poetry to flow and overflow once again. I look back on my career, I've been so lucky, you know, if I say, my God, to begin with The Seagull and to start to play with Chekhov and Nina in The Seagull, which is any young actress's dream. And I started out with that when I was 18 with the Lund, so how lucky can you get? I played Shakespeare, I played wonderful plays, I played Shaw, I played whatever I didn't get a chance to play, I played in my studio.
It's a lively applause, but I don't trust it. I think because it's raining, you might be a little bit protected by scarves and sweaters, and so let's scream. It's too passive. It's much too passive. It has nothing to do with acting. It has to do with the reading of lines. Now, I would say, in the play, you say, my father was a weakling. But there's nobody acting weaker than you. The momentum of the scene has to be theatrical, theater. The soul of the people that are playing has to go. I say, the only thing it is that you act with your soul. You do not act words, and you do not act this. You act with your soul. And you don't have that soul yet. You don't, and that's why you want to be an actor. I don't blame you. That's why you all want to be actors. Because your souls are not used up by life.
You know, I've done records where it seemed like no one listened to them. You write poetry books that maybe, 50 people read, and you just keep doing your work because you have to, because it's your calling. One does their work for the people, and the more people you can touch, the more wonderful it is. You don't do your work and say, I only want the cool people to read it. You want everyone to be transported or hopefully inspired by it. When I was really young, William Burroughs told me, and I was really struggling. We never had any money, and William, the advice that William gave me was build a good name. Keep your name clean. Don't make compromises. Don't worry about making a bunch of money or being successful. Be concerned with doing good work and make the right choices and protect your work. And if you build a good name, eventually, that name will be its own currency. To be an artist, actually to be a human being in these times, it's all difficult. You have to go through life, hopefully, trying to stay healthy, being as happy as you can, and pursuing, doing what you want. Pursue it and understand that it's going to be hard, because life is really difficult. You're going to lose people you love. You're going to suffer heartbreak. Sometimes you'll be sick. Sometimes you'll have a really bad toothache. Sometimes you'll be hungry. But on the other end, you'll have the most beautiful experiences. Sometimes just the sky. Sometimes, a piece of work that you do that feels so wonderful, or you find somebody to love, or your children, or there's beautiful things in life. So when you're suffering, just, it's part of the package. You look at it, we're born and we also have to die. We know that. So it makes sense that we're going to be really happy and things are going to be really fucked up too. Just ride with it. It's like a roller coaster ride. It's never going to be perfect. It's going to have perfect moments and then rough spots, but it's all worth it. Believe me, I think it is.